At 3:01 a.m., my doorbell camera detected motion for the fourth night in a row. Same time, same alert, same blurry figure standing at the edge of my driveway. Every single night, he was a little closer to the house. The first night, I barely paid attention to it. I was half asleep when my phone buzzed on the nightstand. Motion detected, front door. I rolled over, opened the Ring app, and saw this tall, dark shape standing near the sidewalk under the streetlight. The image quality was grainy because of the fog outside, but it looked like a man just standing there facing my house, not moving. At first I figured maybe it was some drunk guy walking home. I live in a pretty quiet subdivision outside Grand Rapids, Michigan, but every once in a while weird stuff happens late at night. I watched the live feed for maybe 20 seconds. The guy didn't move once, not a step, not a twitch, just standing there. Eventually, I got annoyed and muted my phone before trying to fall back asleep. The next morning, he was gone. I actually forgot about it until the next night, 3:01 a.m. My phone buzzed again. Motion detected, front door. This time, I sat up immediately. The same figure was back, only now he wasn't by the sidewalk anymore. He was standing halfway up my driveway, closer. I remember getting this weird cold feeling in my stomach when I realized it was probably the same person from the night before. Again, he wasn't moving. The camera timestamp rolled from 3:01 to 3:02. Nothing. I turned the brightness up on my phone trying to get a better look at his face, but the porch light barely reached him. All I could really make out was dark clothes and what looked like a hood pulled over his head. I almost called the cops right then, but honestly, what was I supposed to tell them? Some guy standing in my driveway? He technically wasn't doing anything. Still, before going back to sleep, I locked my front door and checked every window in the house. That was the first time I felt genuinely uneasy, and after that, things got worse fast. The third night, he moved again. 3:01 a.m., motion detected. This time the figure was standing directly in front of my porch, close enough now that the camera finally picked up details. Tall, very thin, black hoodie, hands hanging at his sides, and his head was tilted slightly toward the camera like he knew I was watching him live. That's the moment fear really hit me. I backed out of the app and immediately called the police. While I waited for them to arrive, I kept watching the live feed. The man never moved, not once. 3 full minutes passed. Then suddenly, the camera audio crackled. A loud burst of static hit my phone speaker, and the figure slowly raised one arm toward the doorbell camera, not waving, pointing directly at it. My chest tightened instantly. Then the feed froze, just completely locked up. I remember yelling at my phone like that would somehow fix it. The app crashed, wouldn't reload, and right as I tried reopening it, somebody knocked on my front door. 3 slow knocks, boom, boom, boom. Every hair on my arm stood up. I was frozen in my living room staring at the hallway leading to the front entrance. The knocks came again, slower this time. Boom, boom, boom. I grabbed the fireplace poker I kept near the couch and just stood there listening. Then silence. Complete silence. A few minutes later, the police arrived and searched around the property. Nothing. No footprints. No person. Nothing. One officer even checked my camera footage with me. And this is the part that still messes with my head. The footage showed the man standing there pointing at the camera exactly how I remembered. But right before the feed froze, the video glitched, just for half a second. And in that glitch frame, the man was suddenly much closer. Not at the end of the porch, not near the steps. He was standing directly in front of my front door, like the footage skipped forward. The officer thought it was just compression lag or bad signal. I tried convincing myself of that too, but deep down, I knew what I saw. After that night, I couldn't sleep. Every sound in the house started bothering me. Ice maker, floor creaks, the furnace kicking on. Everything sounded like somebody moving downstairs. And every single night at 3:01 a.m., the motion alerts continued. But the figure never appeared on camera again, at least not fully. Sometimes I'd get an alert and see what looked like part of a shoulder disappearing around the side of the house. Other times the camera would activate for no reason at all. One night the audio recorded whispering, actual whispering. I turned my volume all the way up trying to hear it. At first it just sounded like static. Then I heard, "Still awake." I stopped breathing. I replayed it over and over. Same thing every time. Still awake. That's when I stopped sleeping downstairs altogether. I started keeping all the lights on too. TV running, bedroom lamp on, bathroom light on. Didn't matter. The feeling never left. About a week later, my neighbor, Rick, stopped me while I was getting the mail. He looked nervous, asked me if I'd figured out the guy yet. I asked what he meant. Rick told me his security camera had been picking up someone walking through the subdivision around 3 in the morning, always wearing dark clothes, always moving slowly. Then he said something I'll never forget. He stands outside houses where people live alone. The second he said that, my stomach dropped, because I had never told him I lived alone. That night I stayed awake on purpose. I sat on my couch with the Ring app already open on my phone, waiting for 3:01 a.m. The house was dead quiet except for the ticking clock in the kitchen. Then, 3:01. Motion detected. The camera activated instantly, and there he was, standing directly in front of my porch again, closer than ever before. This time I could actually see part of his face under the hood. Pale skin, sunken eyes, and what looked like a smile. Not a normal smile either, too wide. Like somebody forcing themselves to smile without understanding how. I couldn't move. I just stared at the screen while he slowly leaned toward the camera. Then the audio activated again, and in this low, raspy voice, he said, "You never checked the back door." My entire body went numb. I spun around so fast I almost dropped my phone. The hallway leading toward my kitchen was pitch black, and for the first time since moving into that house, I realized I couldn't remember locking the back door. I grabbed the poker and ran toward the kitchen. The closer I got, the colder the house felt. I reached the back hallway and stopped dead. The door was open, not wide open, just enough for cold air to drift inside, and the motion light outside was swinging back and forth like somebody had brushed past it. I slammed the door shut and locked it so hard my hands hurt. Then I heard something upstairs, a single footstep, slow, heavy, right above me. I stood there in silence, staring at the ceiling while another step creaked across the second floor. Then another. Then another. He hadn't been trying to get in. He was already inside. And if you're listening to Insomniac alone tonight, go check your doors first. Story 2. The camera never recorded him coming inside. At 2:47 a.m., my backyard camera detected motion. The weird part wasn't the alert. It was the fact that the man was already standing in the middle of my kitchen. The camera facing the back door never recorded him entering the house. Not the gate, not the yard, not the door opening, nothing. One frame the kitchen was empty, the next frame. He was standing beside the refrigerator staring directly into the camera. I noticed the alert while laying in bed watching YouTube. I almost ignored it too. My security cameras went off constantly because of raccoons knocking over garbage cans behind the fence. But something about this alert felt different. Maybe it was because the notification said, "Person detected." Usually it just said motion. I opened the app expecting to see some random guy cutting through the yard. Instead, I saw my kitchen. At first, my brain didn't even process what I was looking at. The room was dark except for the microwave clock glowing green across the counter. And standing beside the refrigerator was a man, tall, wearing dark clothes, perfectly still. I sat upright so fast I nearly dropped my phone. For a second, I honestly thought maybe the footage was old or glitched. Then I noticed the live timestamp in the corner, 2:47 a.m., real time. That man was inside my house. I muted the TV immediately and listened. Nothing. No footsteps, no movement downstairs. Just silence. I remember whispering, "No, no, no, no," while grabbing the baseball bat beside my bed. I lived alone. Nobody else should have been there. I locked my bedroom door and called 911 with shaking hands while staring at the camera feed. The dispatcher kept asking if I could see where the intruder was now. That's when things got worse, because the man was gone, not walking away, not leaving frame. Gone. The kitchen was empty again. I switched cameras immediately. Front porch, nothing. Backyard, nothing. Garage, nothing. Living room, empty. Then I checked the upstairs hallway camera, and my stomach completely dropped. He was standing outside my bedroom door, perfectly still, like he'd somehow crossed the entire house without making a single sound. I physically backed away from the door while staring at my phone. The dispatcher started yelling, asking what was wrong. I couldn't answer. I just kept staring at the screen. The hallway camera had night vision, making his face look pale gray. His hood was up, hands hanging at his sides, head tilted slightly downward, like he was listening to me breathe through the door. Then slowly, he raised one hand and knocked. 3 soft taps. The same exact knocks echoed through the real hallway outside my room. I think that was the most fear I've ever felt in my life, because hearing it on camera was one thing. Hearing it in real life at the same exact moment, that broke me. The dispatcher told me officers were 2 minutes away. 2 minutes sounded like forever. I locked myself in the bathroom attached to my bedroom and held the bat so tight my hands cramped. The hallway camera stayed pointed at my bedroom door, and he never moved, not once. Then suddenly, the camera glitched. Static flashed across the screen. When the picture came back, he was closer, not at the door anymore, right in front of the camera. His face filled almost the entire frame now, eyes wide open, skin pale, and he was smiling. Not a happy smile, the kind of smile people make when they know something you don't. Then the feed cut out completely. At the exact same moment, my bedroom door handle started turning, slowly, quietly. I remember hearing the tiny clicking sound as whoever was outside tested the lock, back and forth, back and forth. I stopped breathing entirely. Then came the whisper. So quiet I almost thought I imagined it, right outside the door. "I know you're awake." I nearly dropped the phone. The dispatcher heard it too. I know she did because she suddenly started yelling, "Officers are entering the home right now." Downstairs I heard the front door explode open, police screaming commands, heavy footsteps, then silence, a long silence. Finally, one officer came upstairs and opened my bedroom door. They searched the entire house. Nobody there. No broken windows, no forced entry, nothing missing. But here's the part I still can't explain. The police reviewed all my security footage before leaving, and according to the timestamps, the man appeared on the upstairs hallway camera 23 seconds before he appeared in the kitchen. That should have been impossible. Even the officers noticed it. One of them asked if my camera clocks were synced wrong. They weren't. After they left, I stayed awake until sunrise, replaying the footage over and over. That's when I noticed something nobody else caught. In the kitchen clip, right before the man appears beside the refrigerator, the reflection on the microwave door changes first. You can see him standing there in the reflection. 1 full second before he appears in the actual room, like the camera saw him before reality did. I moved out 3 weeks later. Couldn't stay there anymore. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't walk past dark rooms without checking corners. But sometimes late at night, I still open the security app out of habit. Most cameras are offline now since I moved, except one. The upstairs hallway camera still activates sometimes around 2:47 a.m., and every once in a while, the motion alert still sends me a screenshot. The hallway is always empty, except for the shadow underneath my old bedroom door, like somebody's standing there on the other side waiting for me to come back. Story 3. My phone started sending pictures while I was sleeping. The first photo showed my bedroom door open. The second showed somebody standing in the hallway. And the third picture was taken from beside my bed. I discovered them at work. I was sitting in the break room during lunch scrolling through my phone when I noticed my battery had dropped from 80% to 22% in less than an hour. At first I thought maybe YouTube had been running in my pocket or something. Then I noticed my photo gallery had 3 new pictures saved at 3:18 a.m. I almost ignored them. Honestly, I thought maybe I accidentally took screenshots while half asleep. But the second I opened the first image, I felt my stomach tighten. It was my bedroom. Dark, blurry, taken from low to the ground like somebody was crouching beside the doorway. The timestamp read 3:18:04 a.m. The second image was worse. It showed the hallway outside my room, and standing near the bathroom was a person, tall, dark hoodie, head tilted toward the camera. The picture quality was grainy from low light, but I could clearly make out a face, pale skin, sunken eyes, and what looked like a smile. I remember staring at the image for probably 30 straight seconds, trying to convince myself it was fake somehow. Then I opened the third photo. That's the one that made my hands start shaking, because it was taken inside my bedroom, right beside my bed. And in the corner of the frame, you could see me sleeping. I dropped my phone so hard it smacked the floor. Everybody in the break room looked over at me. I picked it back up and zoomed in on the picture. The figure was barely visible near the foot of my bed, but it was there, standing in the darkness, watching me sleep. I left work early that day. The entire drive home, I kept trying to come up with explanations. Maybe somebody hacked my phone. Maybe it was some weird cloud sync glitch. Maybe I took the pictures myself while sleepwalking. But deep down, I already knew none of those explanations made sense. When I got home, the first thing I noticed was my bedroom door. It was open. I always close it before leaving. Always. I searched the entire apartment with a kitchen knife like an idiot, pretending I knew what I was doing. Closets, bathroom, under the bed. Nothing. But the apartment felt wrong. You know that feeling when somebody's been in your space? Like the air itself feels disturbed? That feeling. I barely slept that night. Every sound made me sit upright. Pipes creaking, neighbors walking upstairs, cars outside. At around 2 a.m., I finally drifted off on the couch with the TV running. Then my phone vibrated. Photo saved. My eyes opened instantly. The room was dark except for the TV glow. I slowly picked up my phone. Another picture had appeared in my gallery, taken seconds earlier. My heart nearly stopped. The image showed my living room, taken from the hallway leading toward the bedrooms. And there I was, asleep on the couch. I couldn't breathe. The timestamp updated again. 2:11 a.m. Real time. Someone was inside my apartment again. I grabbed the lamp beside the couch and spun toward the hallway. Nothing there, but I heard movement, soft, fast, like bare feet crossing carpet. I turned my flashlight on and moved toward the hallway. Every light in the apartment suddenly felt too dim, too weak. The bedroom door at the end of the hall was cracked open slightly, and I knew for a fact I'd left it shut. That tiny black opening looked horrible, like something waiting. Then my phone vibrated again, photo saved. I looked down slowly. This time the image was completely black except for one thing. A pale face, extremely close to the camera. Eyes reflecting white from the flash, smiling. Right before I could react, something moved inside the bedroom. A quick shadow crossing behind the doorway. I ran. I'm not even embarrassed saying that. I grabbed my keys and ran straight out of the apartment barefoot. Called the police from my car. Officers searched the place for almost 40 minutes. Nothing. No forced entry. No signs anybody had been there. One officer even checked my phone. And that's when things got really bad. Because according to the metadata, the photos weren't taken using my front camera or my back camera. The device listed under image source came back unknown. The officer actually laughed nervously and said my phone was probably corrupted. But he stopped smiling after the final picture appeared, right in front of us. My gallery refreshed by itself. New image saved. 2:47 a.m. The photo showed my apartment hallway, empty. Except for one thing. At the far end near my bedroom, a dark figure was peeking around the corner watching whoever took the picture. The officer looked at me. I looked at him. Neither of us said a word. Then my phone vibrated again. Another image loaded. This one almost made me throw the phone. It was a picture of us sitting inside my car. taken from the back seat. The officer searched the vehicle immediately. Nobody there, nothing. But after that, I stopped keeping my phone near me at night. I even bought a new one 2 weeks later. Different number, different account, different everything. Didn't matter. Last month, I woke up at 3:18 a.m. to a notification sound. Photo saved. My blood went cold instantly, because the new phone had never even been connected to my old cloud account. I stared at the screen for almost a full minute before opening the image. It was my bedroom again. Dark, silent, taken from beside the bed. And this time, the figure wasn't standing at the foot of the mattress anymore. It was leaning directly over me, smiling into the camera while I slept. So, if you're still awake listening to Insomniac right now, do me a favor. Before you fall asleep tonight, check your photo gallery, and when these videos pop up on screen at the end, watch those too, because after what happened to me, I don't sleep with my phone in the room anymore.